This is the 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Is it the most versatile mid-size truck? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we borrowed this Jeep Gladiator from our friends at Hebert's Town & Country. I've got Carrie behind the camera. There's a link in the description for this model if you want to know more about it or anything else they have in inventory at Hebert's Town & Country. Let's dig in and see what we have here. And real quick, there are some changes to talk about. Number one, we have a restyled front grille. You can see some of the differences here as far as the overall look. What do you think about that? Do you think that's an improvement? What do you think? I know that's not a big selling point necessarily, but a little bit of a refresh. You'll also find a larger center screen. If you were a fan of the diesel engine option, you might be disappointed because that is gone. Safety-wise, there are new side air curtains for the front and rear seats. That's going to be good. And obviously, as we look here, something you won't find is LED lighting, just some basic lighting here, but you do have the lights here, your traditional look. Fog lights down here, that's going to be helpful obviously for your off-roading or even on-roading sometimes, depending on your situation where you are and how dark it is and what you need to see. Obviously, everything here is ready to receive things such as winches, all that kind of stuff. And one thing that is a big benefit here for those who want something that is very versatile is going to be the fact that you can obviously put bigger tires on. Everything is ready to receive that. Speaking of the tires, obviously you have a four-wheel drive model here. Let's come around here and take a look at our tires as far as what we have. What are the sizes? Well, we're going to have 245 here on your width, a 75 series sidewall, and that's going to be wrapped around the 17-inch wheels. And let me dig into my pocket and hopefully pull out the correct remote because I have more than one. So here's what we have as far as our remote goes. You don't have to insert the key to start the vehicle. Kind of reminds me of a switch comb, if you remember those from the 1980s. I think they're still around today. But you have that in case you need it. You do have remote start. That's a good thing. I know a lot of you look for that. And obviously with our side view mirrors, not a ton to talk about here. They're going to be manually folding side view mirrors. So we'll fold those in if I can get it to work. Don't want to break anything because I don't want to buy this Jeep. But don't need another vehicle in my garage, that's why. But you can see what's there, a little bit of a workout to get that to fold in. Just don't want to push too terribly hard. Now, obviously, you have something kind of old school right here, but you know what? That's good to have in case you need it. We're not going to take the time to do it, but obviously you can take the doors off, you can take the top off. In fact, this is the only truck, mid-size or anything else, that is a convertible. So a lot of versatility here and a lot of uniqueness where that is concerned. As we work our way back here to the bed, on this particular model, no bed liner or anything like that, but you will find your LED lighting. We finally do find some LED lighting here in the bed, so that's gonna help to shine forward and illuminate the bed when you're driving or when you're working after dark. I guess you could leave them on and have them when you're driving down the road, but who needs to do that? A very well dampened tailgate. I like that a lot, aside from the tongue twists that you like to laugh at because they come out every once in a while. Now, this may not be the largest bed in the industry as far as a mid-sized truck goes, but when it comes to something such as a Jeep Gladiator, most people are not as worried about hauling as much as they are about maneuverability and being able to get around in a multitude of situations. And so you really have a really nice balance here with the versatility of a truck, but the off-road capabilities of a Jeep. Obviously, you're going to have your backup camera there. That's something, every once in a while, I'll have somebody ask me if a vehicle has a backup camera. If I forget to show it for some reason or another, that's going to be on everything you get now. You will not buy a brand new vehicle, at least in the United States, that does not have a backup camera. Your Jeep logo, obviously, prominently displayed right here, and your taillights. Nothing major going on there, just your classic Jeep look. It looks like a Jeep. It's going to get around like a Jeep. That's good to know. But let's talk about what's going to motivate it to get down the road. Let's open the hood and we'll tell you about the information of what you'll find there. Under the hood of this particular model is the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. It makes 285 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 260 and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And for those who are curious to know about MPGs, let's work our way over here to the window sticker so we can tell you about what is there. We're looking at 17 miles per gallon city, 22 highway, 19 combined, and 5.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. We'll work our way over here to the driver's side of the vehicle so we can talk about something you often don't hear about in these videos. Now here's something interesting. No capless fuel fill. I think that's popular with a lot of people. They'd rather have a traditional gas cap, and wow, it even has the old school sound when you twist it too far. You don't see that too often, or should I say, hear that too often. But the main reason I come here is because you might wonder, well, how much gas can I put into this Jeep Gladiator? It has a 22-gallon gas tank. And how about your towing and payload? 1158 to 1,241 pounds as far as your payload goes. Max towing comes in at 4,500 pounds. Now you will find, well, kind of a bare minimum area back here, but you'll get the job done for what you need. You have some tie downs back here, and that's really about all we have to talk about in this particular case. You can change the position right here if you want to with these particular tie downs. Not a lot going on, but for those who want just kind of a bare bones mid-sized truck that's really capable off-road, this is good. You will find a window in the rear right here that can open and close, obviously, just something that's a little bit different. A small window, but it is there. All right, let's take a look at what rear seat passengers will find and not find. And we'll start with the removable doors right here. You can see what's here, pretty basic. Let's see what we get with the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever test it is or result it is. For the armrest, what does Carrie think about it? Kind of neutral, kind of down, thumbs down a little bit, maybe not the softest material. We've done worse, we've done better, but that's what's there. They're not huge, but you know what? It's a Jeep, it's not a big deal. You do have the nice silver door handle right here. No gloss black to worry about. So those of you who don't like the fingerprintable gloss black or piano black finishes, you don't find that in this area. And obviously, you're gonna have your built-in speakers right here so that when the top is off, well, then everybody can still hear the music playing. And versatility is interesting back here because on the seats, you can fold down the seat backs. Carrie's won't go all the way down. Well, he actually could just lower the headrest there. There we go, it'll go all the way down. So you can see that you can fold everything flat back here and potentially use that for storage. There's even a couple of little storage pockets back here with the net style material and even some built-in tie downs. 3 different points right there, but that's not all of the versatility that we have back here. So we'll put that back in place and we'll lift up on the seat cushions. So kind of a nice little space right here. One thing I didn't talk about earlier is you do have a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle back there. There are all the tools for changing that. Now, something that's interesting here is when you take the top off, you're going to have a lot of little pieces such as screws and things like that. And there are several different places to put those in here so that you don't lose them. As you can see, several different areas for that. So nice, convenient ways to store those things and a lot of space right here as well. And we'll put our seats back down right here. We will find the rear seat pockets on both seats. So nice to know that those things are there. Fairly minimalistic back here. No USB ports. Told you we were going to tell you what is not here. We don't have USB ports. We do have cup holders. Here are the controls for the windows, obviously, because, well, since the doors can come off, we don't have to worry about that being part of the door. But obviously when the doors are off, well, you don't need to lower the windows. And one thing I did want to say, we talked about the sliding window right here. It's not power in this case. It's manually opening and closing. So if the driver wants that open or someone else wants it open, they either have to open it themselves, or if the driver is all alone, he'll just have to hop out of the vehicle when they can find a place to stop safely. Now, you will find cloth interior. I think that's a good thing because obviously off-roading, well, things could get dirty. This is going to be easier to deal with. So, how about space? Well, actually, I have a decent amount of leg space back here. Head space, a ton. That's a lot of head space. At 5'10", you could be well over 6 feet tall and fit back here with absolutely no problem. Now, you don't have a fold-down armrest here. You don't have cup holders built in that area, obviously, Those are the only cup holders back here. But one of the most impressive changes of the Gladiator for 2024 is found in the front seat area. Let's hop up there and talk about what that is. Okay, let's talk about price. How much is it on this particular model? $50,245. Let's see what else you get for the price. If your passengers want the larger armrest, they're going to have to call shotgun. More space up there, apparently a little more comfortable. Same style of door handle right there. There's the controls right there for lock and unlock. Pretty basic as far as everything goes, but that's not a bad thing. You have that net style material right there. And as far as the seats go, you're going to find they seem to be pretty comfortable. I do like the contrast stitching, that it's not just white or black. That actually works out kind of nice in that it doesn't blend in. Now, you will not find a power seat for the driver or the passenger, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. This isn't really meant to be a luxurious vehicle with a lot of high-end options. That control right there, or what would we call that actually? Just some kind of a release, I guess. If you pull on that, then we can actually change the positioning of the seat. Let's see how far back that will recline. Actually pretty far, so we'll let Carrie let go of that. And you do have the grab handles at each door. I like that. That makes it easier to get in and out because you do have a reasonable ride height here, which is good when you're going off-road. If you just do it with the stock tires, stock suspension shocks, all that stuff, no big deal. But obviously, you can change all of that. And as we take a look here across the dashboard area, Carrie's going to hop inside here. We'll look at the dash and see what we have going on there. Now, it's pretty basic, but I think that works in this particular case. The air conditioning vent over there, kind of unique, something that doesn't look like all of the other vehicles out there on the road. In fact, you can rotate that around every way you want to. Very interesting how that works. And an oh crap handle right there above the glove box for exercising all of that 285 horsepower. Right now, the glove box, I guess we could say glove singular, because I think there's only one glove that would fit in there if you were going to put gloves in the glove box. Not a lot of space. It is fairly deep, just not really wide. But the biggest change for 2024, I think, is going to be found right here with your center screen. A much larger screen than what we've seen in the past. Very easy to deal with, however. It has a nice, clear look to it. Everything is easy to deal with. You can modify things quite a bit, make some changes. You can see also that we have dual zone climate control right there. We can go in to a lot of different areas, even make changes to the AC in the screen itself. But it's good to know that you also have physical buttons down here as well for all of that, whether it's that or you turn your traction control on and off right here. We turn the auto stop start feature off. You can see what all is here. But going back to the screen real quick, you'll also wirelessly connect your cell phone. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it's all here. And when we go into vehicle, let's see what all we have here. So take a look at some of the information here that you have. You can see some of the changes that you can make. You can go into My Profile and have different changes there, how you want things to be worked out. How about safety and driving assistance? That's always good to know because some of you ask about that kind of thing. This way, we can just show you what's here. Pretty easy to deal with as far as that goes. And then we can go down here to clock and date. That's pretty easy to deal with. Nice to know because 2 times a year we have to change that, don't we? And then looks like we have a few more things to go with. There's your phone and Bluetooth. You can go with camera right there, which, by the way, let me put it in reverse. You only have one singular camera on this model, but I tell you what, I like the fact that it's nice and clear, but I do wonder why it doesn't take up the entirety of the screen. Just kind of something that's interesting that is found here, but at least it's there and it works well. And we'll also go down here to mirrors and wipers. Let's see what we have with mirrors and wipers. You can see that you can apparently do a few things there, but probably not too much. Lights. You can go in and change things there. Obviously, it's nice to see that it's not just one setting for everything. Basically, you can also see your key off options, something I don't think I've ever seen in a vehicle before. So there's what happens when you want to go into your key off options. Kind of sounds interesting. Audio, pretty simple to figure out. We can also go down here to apps and you can see what all we have right here. It's nice It looks high-end, but I like the fact that it's not overly complicated. You don't have a ton of sub-menus to go into, so that's a good thing. And down here, we're going to find some connectivity options. As you can see right there, there are a couple of options right there concealed away for your USB connectivity. We work our way across. Here are the controls for all 4 windows. And right here, we'll find a handy dandy 12-volt power outlet. You can control 4-wheel drive right here. Obviously, this is going to be your shifter. You can go back to drive, or you can also push it over into the left right there to M, and that allows you to gear up or gear down. So kind of interesting, because to me it seems like gearing up, I would go up like that instead of pulling back. But I don't know. Just kind of an interesting thing. I guess it just depends on what you're used to. And even an old school parking brake. Kind of sounds like an old school parking brake. You don't hear that very often anymore. I think that's kind of cool to have that. Here are your cup holders. And 2 points here on the center console. It's pretty high, but I wish that the lid came out a little bit further, because my hand's going to be hanging off kind of like that. Not a big deal for some people maybe, but it is nice. Nothing unusual for a Jeep right here. But you have 2 different little compartments right here. A little compartment there, and then more space, quite a bit more space right here, and an additional power outlet right there, additional USB power outlet as far as connectivity options go. Now we're going to have Kerry switch places with me. We're going to do Kerry's driving lounge. He's going to tell you about the driver's seat area.
Hey YouTube watchers and Vehicle Visionary fans, Kerry here. About to do Kerry's driving lounge for you today. Jeep Gladiator Edition. So let's talk about what's going on here. I'm not familiar with the Jeep Gladiator. As I like to do my car lounge portion, I like to do it from the perspective of no familiarity with a vehicle, and I don't have any with this. So let's talk about what's going on here. Here you have a lumbar knob. You turn that for your lumbar. This is your seat height adjustment. There's no power seats in this vehicle. You crank this down or up to lower the seat up and down, and this strap here is for your recline feature, which Tom did talk about that already. On this door, you have a decent size armrest. He talked about the netting in the door already. You have power door and a lock and unlock button, and there's your handle to get out of the vehicle. Your mirror control adjustment left and right, and it is a heated mirror also if you need that. Let's go ahead and step inside here. This vehicle has your light controls here: headlights, fog lights, auto, parking lights button, and your dimmer control switch also. There's no dead pedal down here for the left foot, which I'm kind of surprised at that, but there are your gas and brake pedals, just basic rubber or plastic or whatever they are. There is the adjustment for tilt telescope steering wheel. We all know how to use that, as I always say. Grab handles, as Tom already discussed. Steering wheel, 3-spoke steering wheel. I like 3-spoke steering wheels. Nice feel, leather, or some form of leather feeling material with the orange stitching in the wheel. Feels really good. The Jeep emblem in the middle, plastic around the airbag cover, but that's okay. It is what it is. On your column over here for your turn signals and your lights, you have left, down for turn, and right, and they do work. The right column, you have your your wiper controls for your mist, intermittent, pull it for the sprayer for the windshield. We all know how those work. On the steering wheel spoke on the left, you have your telephone and your adjustments for that. On the left spoke, you have your cruise control, distance control, and your cancellation set on and off. Not a whole lot going on there, but there's enough. On the dashboard, we have over here the RPM gauge. We have the seat belt indicator to tell you if people aren't wearing a seatbelt. It also has your range control or your range indicator for 2 high, 4 high, neutral, or 4 low. There's your coolant. There's a compass to tell you what direction you're going. We're currently facing west. The speedometer is in the middle. Your odometer is below that. It also shows that I'm in park, and there's 13 miles on this brand new vehicle. Fuel gauge, very nice fuel gauge meter. Your temperature up there, 68 degrees right now in Shreveport. And there is the speedometer, which this says it goes up to 120 miles an hour. And there's the indicator that your brake is on. We're gonna go over here and look at some of these controls. On the dashboard, there's a button here for your screen where you can turn your screen completely off. That's pretty cool. And your hazard light button, stability control, your start stop, and for your radio there's a mute button there where you can turn all those things off. So one thing else I wanted to show everybody, if you weren't familiar with it, if you get stuck in this vehicle and you're in gear and you can't get out of it, in front of the shifter there's a little panel right here that you can pop off with a screwdriver or a key and reach inside of there, and there's a little orange strap. You yank on that strap and it's your neutral safety. It pops the vehicle into neutral. That allows you to push it, pull it, whatever you need to do if you're stuck in gear and you can't get out of gear. I'm not sure if you're Jeep familiar, you know that, but if you're not Jeep familiar, then you don't know that, but now you do. You have visor up here with the controls for your three controls for your garage door opener. You have the visor with a light in it. The visor does pop out and it does extend out to cover a good bit of the window, not all of it. There's still some over here that's not covered, but you know, you get what you get. And these are the removable screws for the roof if you want to take the roof off, and Tom already talked about that. There's a lot going on here. We didn't want to take all these screws off to remove the roof, but all in all, this is a very nice vehicle. I'm not sure what it shops next to against the Bronco, but it's pretty nice in here. If you're interested in this type of vehicle, then come down to Abears and check it out. This would be the end of Carrie's Driving Lounge for today. If there's something else you'd like us to look at, let us know in the comments, and see you next time.
All right, we're going to get out on the road for a quick test drive here with the Gladiator. 285 horsepower. Well, it's not too bad. It's going to get it down the road or off the road the way it needs to be done. I don't think that's a big deal. Obviously, depending on what you want to do, you can have more horsepower with different models of Jeeps. You can even go with the 392 depending on the type of Jeep that you buy. So there are some real good opportunities if you say to yourself 285 horsepower is not enough. So, enjoyable to drive. It does have a little bit of a stiff ride, but for me personally, I don't think it's too bad. It just depends on what you're used to. That's what a lot of people don't think about. For me, I don't think it's terrible, but I'm not driving it every single day. So, one way or another, it's nice to know that if you have something like this, that you can get through pretty much anything, depending on where you live and the type of conditions you drive in regularly, or maybe not so regular. If you have flooding or a big snow that comes through, you have the confidence to know that you have a vehicle that can handle anything you throw at it. So that's always nice to know. Let's see here how we do on our turning radius test. We'll make our turn right here. Not terrible, but not the best, but not a big deal. It's okay. I think it will do just fine. Now we'll get on down the road here, get a little bit of speed up here, not too much, but just get up to speed, maybe a little bit above. Yeah, not too bad. Once you get used to the handling, the steering is a little bit slow. Once you get used to that, I don't think it's a huge deal. Getting through the corners with no problem, not an issue. Plenty of room here for the driver and the passenger, that's for sure. You have a lot of headroom because of the way the top is configured, so that's always a nice thing to know. It would be nice to be able to lower the driver's seat a little bit more. I could actually recline the seat some to help myself out with that, but it's just the way it is in this particular situation. But I do like the fact that everything is so easy to get to and the technology is easy to deal with. It looks nice, it looks modern. And it looks like it might be complicated to learn, but at the end of the day, it really isn't. So a very well-rounded vehicle for the price, I'd say. Very versatile, very capable in a multitude of situations. And the good news is that for those who want something that is fairly minimalistic, well, this is definitely a good option for you. So tell me what you think about the 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Is it the most versatile mid-size truck? It sure has a lot of ability and capabilities to be that way, but does it work perfectly in that respect? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town & Country for loaning us this Gladiator for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you want to know more about this model, check out the link. It's in the description of the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. If you haven't subscribed just yet, please consider doing so. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.